What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now, with the Royal Rumble less than 48 hours away, you know that WWE wants Smackdown to bring the fans back on Sunday. Join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes the 24th January episode of the Blue brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Seth Rollins' latest social media stumble, an ex-WWE superstar reveals the extent of marijuana use in the company, more evidence Edge is returning at the Royal Rumble, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. But let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story as we look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Number 1. Quality over quantity. Now, Wrestlelamia has been praising the last few weeks of Smackdown for featuring a variety of superstars from the mid-card to the main event, finally giving fans a chance to get behind wrestlers they haven't had many opportunities to see. That wasn't the case last night, with last night's episode focusing on a few long segments. Although we don't want to see this happen every week, last night it worked because the WWE seemed intent on pushing the major blue brand matches at the Royal Rumble. Number 2. Some excellent matches. As mentioned, the WWE went with the extended segments and it paid off, beginning with a strong opening match between Roman Reigns, the Usos, and King Corbin, and his knights Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. The match featured lots of twists and turns, including a well-blended mix of action and high spots, helping to put over the Usos and set the stage for King Corbin's big match against Roman Reigns at the Rumble. But it's something Raw should consider trying, as it may keep many more fans around for the remaining hours. Now, that wasn't the only good match, as John Morrison showed he's still got lots to give, wrestling Kofi Kingston in one of SmackDown's best one-on-one matches in recent weeks. Credit to Kofi Kingston for putting Morrison over, as well as putting on his usual outstanding match. The New Day vs Miz and Morrison program is shaping up to be an excellent program, and let's hope it continues for the next few weeks. Let's also hope the WWE doesn't give the Miz and Morrison initial wins over the New Day, only to job them over the next few months. Number 3. The Brawl to end it all. We've said it before and we'll say it again. What wrestling fan doesn't like a no-holds-barred brawl? Last night's Donnybrook between Lacey Evans and SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, or should we now say SmackDown Champion Bayley, was the right way to build up their match at the Royal Rumble. Evans' heartfelt interview with Michael Cole was a good way to further her connection with the fans, and while the jury's still out on the success of a babyface turn, the feud with Bayley and Banks seems to be working. While some fans may criticize having the brawl interfere with the tag match between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and Fire and Desire, the match never even began, unlike the finish at TLC where the Kabuki Warriors' victory in the main event was spoiled by Roman Reigns' brawl with King Corbin. So we could say they're completely different. And number 4, a clever contract signing. The contract signings have been done to death, and yet somehow the WWE came up with a clever twist to the usual signing contract and let your opponent beat you down with a powerbomb through the table segments. There's no doubt the Fiend is one sick puppy, and he showed it again tonight, laying out Daniel Bryan and whipping him like a dog. And that was just the Fiend getting started. The Fiend signing the contract in his own blood was revolting, but a good way to remind the fans that Bryan is in for the fight of his life this Sunday. But that was the good. What about the bad? And actually, to be fair to SmackDown, there's not so much of it, as the only one we got a gripe with are some bathroom breaks in between. As good as SmackDown was last night, the WWE wasted valuable time with the glorified squash match between Braun Strowman, Elias, and Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Nakamura and Cesaro have been jobbing to Strowman so much of late that no veteran fans would doubt who was going to win the match. The WWE has really booked the Strowman vs Nakamura program poorly, to the point that it looks like WWE is trying to bury Shinsuke. Well, luckily there was no ugly this week. SmackDown was a classic example of how to book the proverbial go-home show in order to get the fans psyched for the Royal Rumble. Whether it was the Lacey Bayley brawl, King Corbin's spirited vow to finish Roman Reigns in their match at Sunday, or the epic contract signing between The Fiend and Daniel Bryan, SmackDown delivered time after time, and we can only hope the Royal Rumble lives up to last night's build-up. What did you guys think of SmackDown? Let us know in the comments down below. But that was the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of Smackdown. Let's move on to some news, as our first story looks at 90% of the WWE superstars enjoying marijuana. Former WWE superstar Darren Young, aka Fred Rosser, shared his thoughts on marijuana use in the WWE, telling Fightful.com how widespread it's used by superstars. 90% of everyone. 90% of the locker room, I'm sure. Yeah, I was a CBD user when I was on the roster. I've had concussions, I've been rocked several times. And when you have to go from city to city 300 miles, I just couldn't do it. So the CBD helped me out. It helped me out with my anxiety and car rides with Titus O'Neil and Sheamus and Mark Henry. Now just months before, Enzo Amore said that half of the WWE locker room smokes weed. Perhaps the additional 40% added by Rosser because they use CBD, but they don't partake in the psychoactive effects of the medicine. Given that the WWE reportedly only fined superstars $2,500 for marijuana showing up in their drug test, it could be their drug of choice. In his memoir Hitman, Bret Hart recalled how some wrestlers in his era preferred marijuana but turned to alcohol when the WWF banned it. Next up, a really weird story. Seth Rollins and the KKK? As Seth Rollins seems to be embroiled in another social media shitstorm after he endorsed a friend's coffee business, The Boy and the Bear Coffee, on Instagram, only for people to claim that what were witches in the picture were actually Klansmen. While they kinda do look like Klansmen, or in our opinion a few spooky trees, Seth Rollins was one of the first white athletes to say Black Lives Matter publicly. Y'all know damn well that wasn't the KKK he posted. Seth tried to clarify things, writing, "It was witches for a creepy coffee thing I'm helping a friend with. My apologies if anyone was confused. F the KKK, F racism." Wrestling's Monday Night Messiah deleted the image, but that didn't stop people from appointing themselves as the arbiters of righteousness. While the picture may have been interpreted as members of the KKK, do you think anyone's that stupid enough to do that even if they were supporting the Klansmen? Come on people, don't be that stupid. Next up, Rey putting his mask on the line at WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio has been battling current US champion Andrade for some time, repeatedly failing to defeat the rising star. Rey's recent ladder match on Raw saw another victory snatched from his hands, but Rey may have found a way to drive himself to defeat Andrade. Speaking to Television Insider, Rey explained, "I think the goal right now, after tonight's outcome in the Andrade ladder match, I think something along the ways that if he wants to keep feuding and going a step further, I'm willing to put my mask on the line versus his hair for a WrestleMania moment." With Rey's career winding down, a mask versus hair match would be a great way to go out, and it's a win-win situation as a victory for Rey could send him off into retirement on a high note, while a loss could help put Andrade over further. Would you guys want to see a mask versus hair match at WrestleMania? Let us know in the comments down below. If you want to see more unmaskings, be sure to check out our video in the top right hand corner. Next up, WWE tells Daniel Bryan, "Profits, not politics." You may recall Daniel Bryan discussed how the WWE told him to stop discussing the environment during promos. Nonetheless, the WWE doesn't seem to mind profiting from an environmental friendly product. Daniel Bryan tweeted, "Today my new shirt comes out, one that WWE made out of organic cotton and recycled materials. And thanks to my partnership with American Forests, a tree will be planted for every shirt that's sold." In true WWE fashion, its WWE shop website boasts, "Each shirt saves at least 4 plastic bottles from ending up in a landfill or worse. Helping to clean up our planet will make you the planet's champion. Say yes to this eco-friendly t-shirt." While it's great to see an eco-friendly t-shirt on the WWE's website, it seems hypocritical to promote the company as eco-friendly while suppressing Bryan's voice on television at the same time. Next up, Edge Rumble rumors continue. It seems like Edge's Royal Rumble return is a foregone conclusion, with numerous sites discussing his presence. Despite the WWE's best efforts to downplay the rumors and even deny Edge's return, here's the latest piece of news courtesy of Wrestling News' Paul Davis. There have been denials for weeks from Edge about being cleared for in-ring action. He has also been denying that he has plans to wrestle again. However, just to confirm with 2 sources that Edge is scheduled to be in Houston this Sunday night, the site of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The source I spoke to did not know what Edge will be doing on the show, but it looks likely that he'll be a surprise entrant in the men's Royal Rumble match. Now we believe the only way the rated R superstar won't be in the Rumble is if Vince McMahon pulls him just to prove the fans and the dirt sheets wrong. Are you guys still hoping for Edge to return at the pay-per-view? Speaking of the Royal Rumble, WWE botches the poster. The Men's Royal Rumble is already packed with competitors, so perhaps that explains a recent Photoshop fail by the WWE. Speaking of which, be on the lookout for a video on WWE Photoshop fails in the near future. As you know, Eric Rowan has entered the Rumble, but apparently the WWE's art department confused the Viking Raiders Eric with Rowan, putting him in the graphic. The graphic has been fixed since. And lastly, a women's match has been announced for Raw. The feud between Lana, Bobby Lashley and Rusev took a bizarre twist when Liv Morgan entered the fray, and the WWE has announced Liv Morgan will battle Lana on the 27th January episode of Raw, right on the heels of their 20th January Raw Mixed Tag match. As we noted in an earlier video, wrestling isn't the program's strong suit, and Lana will certainly need to step up if she wants this feud to continue in the ring. But there you have it guys, the latest and wildest wrestling news you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.